Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm glad to have you with us for NBA basketball. It's Tuesday Hoops, and it's next. It's going to be Paul Pierce and the Boston Celtics up against Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls. And the tip-off is just around the corner. Let's get you out to the Madhouse on Madison. Here's Kevin Harlan in Chicago.
You can hear the roar here at the United Center. We've got the Boston Celtics and the Chicago Bulls. Week rolls on. Thanks for taking a break with us here at 2K Sports. Another NBA broadcast for you. We welcome you. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and the sharpshooter Steve Kerr. And now the opening lineup for Boston, courtesy of State Farm. Rondo, Allen, and Pierce are the perimeter. Kevin Garnett and Jermaine O'Neal at the 4 and 5. And for the Bulls, Luol Deng and Carlos Boozer, they're in the forward slots. Rose is flanked by Bogans in the backcourt, and it's Noah in at the center.
Well, the Bulls had the best record in the entire NBA a season ago, and one of the reasons was that they were playing in the weaker Eastern Conference, and they really dominated their opponents in the East.
And it's going to be the Bulls off the tip. Here is Rose. He's picked up by Rondo. Rose kicks to Bogans. Back to Rose. He's covered by Rondo. Rose, no good. Steve, going back to the Bulls, it was never really close near the end as far as them taking the top spot in the East.
And it may have made them, Kevin, a bit rusty heading into the postseason as they didn't look their sharpest at times against the Pacers, but they were able to right the ship anyway.
You saw that series very closely. That was an interesting first-round series.
Very much so, and I thought the Pacers really fought and competed hard, and it was a good matchup for the Indiana Pacers. A young team, but had some matchup advantages there and made it tough for Chicago.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Hey, Kevin, I caught up with Coach Doc Rivers. Their main focal point is going to be defense, according to him. He said, I want my guys putting a body on every shooter and battling for every rebound. This could turn into a pretty physical basketball game by the sound of it, guys.
Thanks, Doris. Well, guys, give us your thoughts on that.
Well, you know what? I think the game plan for a lot of teams, really good teams, starts with good D. So it's pretty much what I expected to hear.
Man, for this club, that's the way it should be. I mean, they need to send a message defensively right away. When you take it to your opponents on the defensive end of the floor, it sets the tone early.
And Boozer gets it to go.
And one of the things I like about Boozer, guys, is that even though he's right-handed and he'll shoot his jump shot with the right hand, he loves to finish around the basket with his left hand. So you can't really get an angle on him defensively.
It's stolen by Rose.
What a great job playing the passing lane.
He dishes it to Bogans. Back to Rose. Tipped away. It's stolen by Rondo.
You know, he got a fingertip on it, but not enough to control the pass coming in that fast. You know, he's not going to make a mistake when he gets in tight. That's a good hoop there.
And it's the Bulls with the ball. When you finish over either shoulder the way Boozer can, Clark, it creates so many more possibilities for him around the rim.
And it's interesting to think about how he developed that ability to be effective, being ambidextrous. The story is that when he was younger, his dad tied his right hand to his waist to force him to work with that left hand.
Oh, no kidding.
Fairly extreme, but it got a good result.
I should say. Rose passes to Boozer. It's stolen by Allen. Rondo against Rose. Rondo dishes to O'Neal. And it's sent back by Noah. Here's Garnett. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two. First one falls for him.
I thought Kevin Garnett really bounced back last season and looked better physically. Remember, the knee issues have been a problem over the years, but looked great last year and is always the key to that Celtics defense.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Taj Gibson's checked in for Boozer, and Ronnie Brewer's subbed in for Keith Bogans. They get a hand on it. Rose against Allen. And Rose picks him up defensively. Rondo kicks to Pierce. And Gibson sends it back. Bulls trail by 4. Even numbers. Kristich down low. Covered by Noah. And the basket by Kristich. And for Kevin Garnett, among active players, the second most career minutes played after Jason Kidd. So, Clark, he's got some miles on that odometer.
Yeah, he does. But last season, he upped his numbers across the board, Kevin. I mean, he may not play till he's 40, but with his size and fire for the game, I think he's still got plenty in the fuel tank.
And finished off by Rose.
That was a ferocious Facebook finish.
It's easy to forget he plays the point, isn't it?
Well, he still looks to pass first, but if nothing's there, he will not hesitate to take it up strong to the hoop.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first.
Well, you look at the Celtics a season ago, they went 23-18 on the road, and that would be a good mark for most teams. That was Boston's worst road record in the last 4 years.
Sheik is checked in for Chicago. Boozer comes in for Luol Deng. And then for Boston, Jermaine O'Neal is checked in for Kristich. Davis comes in for Kevin Garnett. And it's Green in for Paul Pierce. 58 seconds left here in the first quarter. Allen outside. Outside for Rondo. Left side, Davis. 5 on the clock. From 11 feet away. Rondo, no good. Steve just talking about that Celtics road record. Do you think, Clark, that is something to be concerned about, 23-18 away?
Kevin, probably not. I mean, on their overall record, they gained 6 wins from the previous season. If there's any concern for the Celtics, it's probably the question of age and how much do the big three have left in the tank. But it is interesting when you think about it. Last year, when they felt, the year before rather, when they got to the NBA Finals, they didn't feel concerned about not having home court advantage in the Eastern Conference because they had been so good on the road.
Sure.
So that could have maybe put a little chink in their armor in last season's playoff.
Man, is he hard to defend. You play him one way, he'll just go the other.
Oh, he knocks it in, a beautiful buzzer beater.
Just in time.
Well, he just throws up a prayer and it gets answered.
And those kind of shots are such a big lift for any team going into a break.
And that does it for the first quarter. Celtics out in front. They lead by 5.
It was a pretty solid first quarter for this club. They limited their mistakes and really took advantage offensively.
You know what? I like what I've seen from them on the other end, forcing a few giveaways. That's excellent pressure and good activity with the hands.
And we'll be back in just a moment. And now the second quarter just getting set to start. Here's Pierce. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So the Bulls 5 right now. Carlos Boozer out there with Taj Gibson. Then it's Watson. Then there's Bogans. And it's a Sheik in at the center position.
Thibodeau really connected with the players on the Bulls roster early on. I mean, Derrick Rose attributed the huge jump in his game and what he made defensively to the coaching of Tom Thibodeau.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, guys, there was a time when some in Chicago were concerned they overpaid for Luol Deng, but don't count Coach Tom Thibodeau among them. He said he's a professional and works hard every day. He can score in a number of different ways. He's unselfish. He gives himself up for the team. He's very effective without the ball. He's got a terrific mid-range game. He's better in the post than most people give him credit for, and he's becoming a confident shooter. Sounds like he brings a lot to the table.
Yeah, he can do it all. Thanks, Doris. Here's Gibson. And what was that about? Not a good shot right there. Well, Clark, and it just wasn't Rose, as you mentioned. I mean, the whole team bought into his coaching philosophy. And, Steve, you've always said, and Clark has too, that when the best player follows, everybody else will follow that best player.
Yeah, it's easy to do. I mean, when Derrick Rose is buying in and believing in what the coach is selling, it's easy for everybody else to jump on board. And when that happens, you really gain a lot of momentum as an organization.
And some changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah, he's checked in for Sheik. Deng comes in for Taj Gibson. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for C.J. Watson. Jermaine O'Neal is checked in for the Celtics. Rondo comes in for Ray Allen. Deng passes to Boozer. The leaner inside. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot two right here.
Carlos Boozer signed that big free agent contract with Chicago before last season and then broke his hand before the year even started. But he came back, got healthy, and became a strong presence, and the Bulls had a great season.
You know, just to follow up on what you said there, Steve, I mean, injuries have been an issue for Boozer over his career. I mean, he gives the Bulls a low post presence, and they've needed that for years, so I think it can be a good fit for him.
Well, we all know what a fiery, competitive team the Celtics are, with Kevin Garnett in particular. And that's one of the reasons they were second in the NBA in technical fouls last season.
And Pierce backs in. He's picked up by Deng. So the whistle blows on the shot, and two free throws for the contact right there. They get Luol Deng. And so speaking of the Celtics, you know, some have said, Clark, that they go overboard getting into it with other teams, players. That wasn't your game, but take us inside that whole world of the player.
You know what? I don't know if the Celtics do it any more than any other teams. I mean, Kevin Garnett is very demonstrative, has been since he's been in the league, and that intensity sometimes spills over. And I always felt that you had to be who you were. You couldn't try to fabricate something that wasn't part of your natural makeup. So if you are a guy that's verbal and a jawjacker, then you've got to do it within the parameters of what's going on in the game. If you're not, then you can't be that to try to improve your performance. So I've always said, like the young folks do, you know, do me, be you, you know?
Rondo kicks to Pierce. Back to Rondo. He's covered by Rose. Rondo can't get it to go. Bulls trail by 9. Here's the feed to Bogans. Here's the three. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
And he'll look for the three anytime he can get it, especially in transition.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
This run, a definite concern. They've lost all momentum. They need to try to sort this out right away. I'll tell you one thing, it's really hard to go from winning no playoff series in 1 year to a championship. That is a big jump. Only 2 teams have done it in the modern era. That's what the Bulls were up against last season.
Kyle Korver, he's checked in for the Bulls. The Celtics also changing it up. Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Davis. Green comes in for Paul Pierce. And it's Allen in for Delonte West. Here's Allen. He has 7. O'Neal against Rose. The tray. That's good from Allen on the assist by Rondo. 10 points for Allen. Touching back on the Bulls, they had no easy opponents in their playoff run either.
Well, they were ultimately done in by the Heat, but the Pacers and Hawks were awfully tough too. So a great learning experience for a young Chicago team.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin. Well, the Bulls have developed a bit of a blue-collar mentality and approach that seems to fit right in the Windy City. Joakim Noah liked the identity, quoted saying their identity should be tough, grit, grind it out. We don't care who we're playing. We're going to pick you up, we're going to play defense, and we're going to be gritty, and we're going to fight. All things that add up to a lot of wins, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Chicago loves a gritty team in any sport.
Yeah, I think this team really kind of personifies what this city is about. They're blue collar, they're tough, they're defensive minded, and that's why these fans in Chicago have fallen in love with this team.
You know, for so long, the best point guard talk had been between Paul, Nash, and Darren Williams. But Rose might have thrust himself in the front of the conversation last year.
No good, and they don't get the three-point play. Going back to Rose, Steve, he certainly made a strong case with his play.
Well, he was phenomenal in terms of his point guard play, his evolution offensively, and the numbers don't tell the entire story for him. I mean, he's such a pure scorer, but gutsy as well, and a leader for his team, and modest and humble, and somebody whose teammates absolutely love.
Clock at 6. Tries in the post, and Boozer puts it in. Boozer's got 4 this quarter.
He's put on an offensive clinic. They've got to deny him the ball.
Yeah, and if that fails, then double him, Steve. I mean, they can't allow him to continue to hurt him like this.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
When you look at when the Bulls' fortunes turned, I mean, getting that ping pong ball to bounce their way in 2008, which ended up being Derrick Rose, that's a player that can change the direction of your franchise in a hurry, and he has.
Paul Pierce is checked in for the Celtics. West comes in for Rajon Rondo. There's 42 seconds left in the first half. Now West, and Rose picks him up defensively. West dishes to Allen to end the run. Can't get it to go. Boozer with the defensive effort.
Well, neither team has really gained an edge rebounding-wise here, and the score reflects that.
Well, if one team can start hitting the boards harder, I mean, it'll give them a good chance to pull away.
Now here's Rose. He's got 9. Takes it up, and it's blocked. And here we go with Delonte West. Straight up. That's good from Allen on the assist by Pierce. That's 12 points for Allen. Got it off in time. Got it off in time, but it's no good. We'll see you in just a moment, live here from Chicago.
21, the Celtics. 25.
And we got a fun one going on in Chicago as HP presents our halftime report. Now we have a look at the 2 players leading the charge for their teams in the scoring department. Thanks so much for stopping by. Now let's get you back out to the second half. So long.
Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far.